week of training gone. And this time we're going to talk about how I train for leg 2, a little trail called Europa. But first, we're going to go and see how my training is going. It's the third week of training, and 153 days or 21 weeks and 6 days before we have to toe the line at the Canadian Death Race on July 30th. Remember, it's 11 minutes 28 seconds minimum minutes per kilometer to actually finish the death race in time. I did week 1, it was 48 and then 51 and then 51 for distance, but the time really changed here because I put a hill in here. I'm going to put it back next week, but that's going to up my hours, which is what I wanted. And we're supposed to be going into a rest week. So how do you know if your training's on track? Well, in my case, this is my third week, and as the weeks went along, I got more fatigued, and I noticed it in the long run. So that's good. I had no injuries. So that's a key thing, is no injuries. And the third thing here, I had a great tempo run. The tempo run here was on day 3, and I produced the same track as I always go, just under 7 kilometers, but I pushed it out at 5 minutes, 44 minutes per kilometer, and a heart rate of 147. Felt great. It was a great tempo run. So that's going to be the indicator if things are going well. The other ones are aerobic runs, fun runs, long runs. May or may not increase or decrease, but it's always when you're pushing that tempo or up tempo, that's going to indicate if you're increasing and getting better. Remember I said it's going to be a rest week coming up. Well, I changed my mind. It's actually not going to happen. We're going to actually push into one more week of training. What we're going to do is we're going to double up on the long run. So we're going to go into 2 rest days. 1 rest day. We're going to do an aerobic and a tempo run. Then we're going to have 2 rest days. And then I'm going to do a double long run. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock. And I'm going to practice as if it was the start of the race. I'm going to run out to where I usually start my long run. I'm going to do a transition there, a TA, 10 minutes, and then I'm going to run it back. So look for those results next week in the next week's video. I had lots of excuses of why I wouldn't run today. None of them are really valid. I always think that you gain points, and it's those points that'll put you at the start line and will carry you through to the finish line. So how to train for leg 2? Well, 3 things we need to know about leg 2. We've already kind of discussed, but the 3 training points. 1, it starts on a TA, or transition area. 2, it's a 4.5 to 5 hour run. And 3, it's got lots of ups and downs. Point number 1, transition area, leg 2. You might not think a lot about it, but you got to keep it down to 10 minutes. Just don't. That's you're going to have 3 of them, so that'll be 30 minutes off of it. So you're going to have 23 and a half hours to run the grand death race. So down to 10 minutes with your race team. Practice it, put it into back-to-back long runs, or do 2 loops and run back to your car, time yourself, make a list of what you would have at your TA, and practice that. If it's replacing all your water bottles, replacing your hydro pack, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be practicing that. Point number 2 is it's a long run. So I'm going to have to make sure I get some long runs in. I'm going to be doing that on my long run Saturdays for sure. But I need to make sure that I have all the stuff I need for my nutrition. In 2017, I forgot my tailwind, because that's what I use. I had my backpack, but I ran out halfway through. And I'm not going to forget that this time. And there's a nice creek there. I can use Washy Creek to fill it up on leg 2 or at the first aid stations. But I never really count on first aid stations. I don't, if they have water or not and all that kind of. I make sure I've got an alternate plan. So I will be practicing a 4 to 5 hour run and making notes of what I need to have in my backpack. The third point about leg 2 that I'm practicing, and that's the uppers and downers, the hills. All right, so it's kind of funny that you train running downhill to blow out your quads. You run down there and really tax those quads out. That was just something you will never want to do during a run. And then uphills, you push those uphills and really get those glutes firing, and you get your form right, and you run up those uphill And that's something you will never do at the Canadian Death Race. You're going to need to walk those. So you're going to have to find a hill. So I know some of you are going to say, I haven't got any hills. If you got a park bench, you got a hill. Up and over 1,000 times, whatever. Find some stairs. Find a building that has 2, 3, 4 floors of stairs and up and down them for 2, 3 hours. Whatever I got to do, I got to get hills into my training. Even if it's a Rotary Park circle track with some bleachers at the end, or inside to the Stairmaster. On the downers, I'll probably do a video on running up and downhill for sure. But learning to do fastest feet and stuff like that coming downhill and picking lines and stuff. But leg 2, do the transition area. I'm going to add it into my training. I'm doing a transition area into my training. Second point, it's a long run. I'm going to have to do a 5-hour run, and my backpack's going to be prepared for that 5-hour run, whatever I need to carry. And 3.3, I am going to add all the hills, ups and downs that I can to my training schedule from now until July 30th when we tow the line. See you on the trails. Europa. Nice little easy path. Cuts through this clear block now. A year ago this was full of trees. I remember coming up here and going up through the trail that goes up here and it goes along and up. There were so many trees in here, it took me and Jasper 30 minutes to go this little distance. They were just laid upon. So yeah, the trail's back and they're going to replant and have done some of it already. But Europa is always a really good trail, and the fact that it has some flat like this, then it's got some up and some flat and some up and some flat, and yeah, we'll work on your cardio for sure. So enjoy. Remember to subscribe to keep on all the things that Dale's doing. Hey, I'm okay. See you in the trails.